Hey, what's up? Welcome to the show. This is Good Ass Conversations, Art and Life. And today I got Juan on the show.
Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up?
And Juan, what do you go by?
I go by Cold Sweater, Cold Sweezy. I used to go by Stucky or Stuck Juan. I'm a Oceanside native. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, thank you, bro. And how can people find you online?
You can find me on Bandcamp at cold.sweater, or you can find me on Instagram at cold.sweater.
Yeah.
I used to have a TikTok, but don't look for me on there. You're just going to be disappointed because I haven't uploaded anything new. So.
Cool, man. So, how's the work going? How's the art going?
So, I mean, it's going, as much as it can. I feel like there's always so many projects to get a grip of, and like there's always other ideas that pour into the forefront of the conscious. So it's like it's interesting trying to encapsulate that fleeting magic of that moment, but yeah, it's just trying to do my best to like stay on top of what I'm doing and what I've been doing and other things that I want to start doing, and I want to do more pottery, little sculptures.
Really?
I want to get back into doing some stuff with the tap machine and just doing like these other creative facets that I have available. But yeah, cool. Pottery. I never taken a class for like sculpting, maybe like woodworking, but it wasn't necessarily like pottery.
Why pottery? Like, why are you attracted to pottery right now?
I mean, it's more like clay figures in that sense.
Okay.
I like the 3D realm and trying to envision what I do in that three-dimensional way without having to digitally render it. Mm-hmm. I'd like to just have it in my hands and make it feasible, and also just like translate sketches and essentially do like space studies of these characters that I'm creating or envisioning,
Oh, nice.
So I find it very therapeutic and like ritualistic to create like a three-dimensional version of what I'm thinking of, and then also just make it, just try different methods of putting it out into reality, or what we consider the realm of reality,
Yeah, like shared reality.
Yeah, our shared vision of reality, just like, trying to bring the intangible to the tangible and like try to like bridge that sentiment of like what I was going for. And like I don't have to even be there to explain it, somebody's just already understanding while they're, I mean, art's not for everybody either, but it is a beautiful thing when I get like people come up to me or talk to me about a piece and they understand it almost more than I do. And I find that to be like one of the best feelings as an artist.
Yeah, like validation or appreciation is definitely like nice.
It's like somebody, like if you made a short film and you have a lot of subconscious motifs in it that like you're not even sure why they're there, but you're putting it in, and then somebody watches it and they're like, oh, you were like throwing this out about possibly like your childhood or like your upbringing, and you're like, actually that is like what I was in a way like thinking of, and I don't necessarily want people to like tell me what I'm thinking, but I definitely want people to like connect what I'm not thinking with what I'm thinking, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. I think it's interesting how much people can pick up on.
Right.
I feel like when I was like going to school for art, sometimes people would like downplay like how much the audience can really pick up on.
Right.
But I think like actually getting into the world and putting your stuff out there.
But tomorrow we're actually having a workshop on what to do if you or anybody has been detained by ICE.
Okay.
Cool.
If you want to share that with family members, friends, anybody. Yeah, 3 attorneys will be present to answer questions.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, like it's interesting like when you actually get out into the world and seeing like how people interact with your stuff and what they actually bring up, you realize it's like, oh, the audience is really smart. And also, I think it also depends on like the artist's personal relationship with their audience.
Right.
Like if you think your audience is intelligent, I feel like you're more likely to attract
Right, like a
intelligent
more intelligent audience to
Yeah.
your pieces, for sure. It does come down to location and timing, and I mean, you can put your art in like a really high price place and you listen to the opinions and you feel like, wow, I'm kind of surrounded by like just like insensitive, like just like deep pocketed profiteers. Like I don't. And then there's definitely people that like live and breathe the work and like are part of it and like want to understand, and they're continually understanding. So they're there with you
Yeah.
in that journey and that experience, you know. So
That's cool that you're able to find like a sense of connection like in your art.
thank you. I find my art is kind of in that way. It is like innately meant for connection because it's just like it's a lot of line work, and in a sense it's like surrealistic, and it doesn't pertain to a singular timeline or a voice, you know. It's meant to encapsulate just the human being experience, whether it's whatever, you know, any person. And it's just it's a mind state that I throw on the paper, and some people feel it and some people don't, or some people it takes them a while, or some people they'll never understand it. But definitely make it for myself before I make it for others. But it is in that sense, like I wanted to create something that if you were like 1,000 years from now, or you know, just like it's almost like futuristic but primitive and modern but surreal. I don't know, it just has like all these elements of these different timelines that mesh and like blend, and I just love illustration and how it can do that too. Like it's very timeless in that essence of just like black and white, and there's no real color to it. Or you can, I love color as well, but it's, oh shit.
It's standalone without color and shit like that.
Yeah, it can stand on its own without color. Definitely want to do like a coloring book and do like a study of what's like the most used colors. But I feel like it'd be just cool to see other people color it, and
Oh, that would be cool.
yeah, it would just be a
I
fun.
feel like you could do a lot of, do you know how to use Illustrator?
I know how to use Illustrator. I'd probably honestly do it through my tablet
Oh, really?
just to like make it faster, or just do really good black and white pen scans or something. It could literally be like this small drawing that I'm doing that's only like 3.5 inches by like 5 or 4, and then just blow it up, you know, make it like a decent size illustration.
What do you use on your tablet? Do you use like a Vectornator program or?
I honestly should use a vector type program. I'm just more, I've been using this app for a while because it's only like a one-time charge and you don't have to renew the license or none of that.
Subscription?
Yeah, no subscription.
That's what's up.
It exports to PSD.
Oh, the
as
Photoshop
well.
file?
Yeah,
Nice.
So if anybody's just trying to like open it up like that and work on it, I can just send it to them like that. So it's really handy, and I've been using that, and it has a good resolution, like 6,300 DPI. So that's pretty good for now. I mean, unless I want to do like insane, like hyper defined shit that's like beyond, I guess, the eye, you know. But
Yeah.
I still haven't even mastered 6,000, so I don't think I need it. I don't think I need to do that.
Hey, what's up, dude?
We got Annabelle here.
Yeah, Annabelle's here.
Somebody pulled up on us and gave us some know your rights
Yeah, talking about ice.
for the ice raids that have been happening.
How you doing?
Wild. I'm so good. I'm pretty sleepy. I'm good.
That's
feel that.
good.
Nice.
So, like, what's the name of the program that you use?
Honestly, fuck, I don't want to.
You don't want to give it away? That's fine.
No, I think it's like air paint. It's like, I don't fucking know what it's called. I think it's air paint, but it's just like a little blue logo. It's for Android. It's not iOS. It might be iOS, but yeah, there's definitely downsides and upsides to using an Android tablet.
Well, for sure. I mean, like, there's limits with any technology.
Right.
Like, how much technology do you use, like, in your... First off, like, what kind of mediums do you work in? Like, what would you say, like, your primary mediums are?
I'd say just like overall illustration, and then I've been trying to dabble more into the digital, but it is hard to get the same effect I get from doing traditional work. Like, I love those nuances with the ink and how it can just somehow like bleed a little bit, or it's like the line isn't as solid, or, you know, I kind of start a little bit ahead of the line, so it has like these like jagged edges in the forefront of the line. But yeah, so I definitely like traditional illustration, dabbling in with more digital, and then I want to get back into doing some oil paint. You just need the right space. It's very toxic. I used to like sleep and get headaches, so I'm not trying to do that until like I figure out a good situation or like method. Maybe just set up in the backyard when I paint. But
Have you ever done, like, plein air painting and stuff like that?
kind of like studies, nothing like where I'm just like at the beach with watercolors, but more just like drawing mountain ranges, pen and ink. That's not really painting though, so.
I mean, I think that is painting. I mean, like, watercolor, a lot of people don't see it as painting.
Oh, watercolor is definitely painting, but I'm just saying, like, it's interesting. Like, I'll go through these phases and then I'll cycle back, and I'm always like learning. So I'm constantly just in this cycle of understanding and knowing, like, all right, I can do this, and right now I understand this, so I'll do that more. And just trying to give my best at this current time versus just like hunkering down and doing one thing at a time. I'm just cycling through everything I kind of know, because there's only so many facets. But eventually the goal would just to be eventually just like make some prints, sell prints. I do love painting originals, but I just mean like screen printing prints and like doing like more like archival pieces, you know, like something where it's like a set out of like 20 or 30. So yeah, I like making beats too. It's kind of a balance between making beats and art. So I can, when I get tired or bored or strained by one, I can switch to the other and not have to feel like I'm battling with myself constantly. or like just workflows, you know, like just creating a steady state of workflow, because I always love to, when I do watercolors, I'll do like 6 at a time, or at least like a few at a time, so while one's drying, I have a few others to like work with that color and just let it cycle throughout the pieces.
So you sort of like hone in on focus on one thing, and then you let that run its course, and then you switch your attention to something else?
Essentially, but I'm still like working on that thing. It's just
letting it simmer.
Letting it simmer and letting it marinate, because if I keep working on it sometimes, then I'll fuck it up, you know? It's also like knowing when to call it and being like, that's as good as it's gonna be. If I keep working on this, I'm just gonna fuck it up. Or I'm gonna like regret making a few lines, and like depending on the medium, you can make it back or you can't. So I just try to always keep that in mind, or at least when it comes to like making beats, or well, I mean with beats there's more like leeway, but with painting or illustration there's only so much you can do.
What do you feel like? You're good to chill, dude. I mean, the music is so loud. It's like, it's whatever. So, but do you feel like like painting is like it's easy to do too much and then it's hard to come back from? What do you feel like is a medium that's like hard to come back from when you've done too much?
I mean, technically you can't, but what I mean is like time-wise, and like, because the way I think about it is I don't want to spend too much time on a piece, because then I could be working on another piece. If I spend like 3 months on a painting, then I'm wasting time that I could have spent doing like 30 other paintings in those 3 months, you know? But the best way I could put it is like, I did this series of oil paintings, and the last one, or one of the ones I just did in one session, like same palette. I swear it was the last one, and it was my favorite one. But it's just like, because I already had my palette study done from doing all the pieces beforehand, that it just all like clicked and made perfect sense. I did not have to like do anything more to it. It was just like one pass of the paint lines, and that was it.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So like painting is more like a flow state sort of thing for you?
It can definitely be flow state, but when it comes to like a series, then I definitely want to try to encapsulate like some sort of motif, or I don't know, it just depends on like what I'm really going for. And if I'm going for something, then I'll want to really refine it, but still work on it and finish it as it's being refined, so I get that essence of like those first lines you put down. Because sometimes you do a sketch and the sketch comes out cleaner than the finished work. So the idea, or at least like the trick.
Are you good, dude?
The trick is to like make your brain think like, oh, I'm just gonna like add these few extra lines.
Cheers.
I'm gonna add these few extra lines, and like you're tricking your brain, and it's like, oh, this is pencil, but you're actually doing it in pen or paint, you know?
Yeah.
And you get those first lines that really come out clean, versus like you tracing over a pencil stroke that's already perfect, and you fuck it up and you're like, it's not coming out how I want it to.
This is interesting because it's like, I feel like before you were talking about comics, and then like with the whole pencils to inking process,
right?
I feel like it's similar to what you're talking about,
right?
And like I'm very fascinated by the pencils to inking process, because it's like I've heard different cartoonists or inkers talk about like inking is like where you really develop the drawing,
right?
And you know, when I've done pencils, I'm like, fuck, how do I make it better than my pencils?
Right.
So you're talking about like line quality, like line thickness,
right?
And wanting it a certain way. Like, how do you feel? Is it like a matter of letting it go, or just like getting it right? Like, Because it almost sounds like you want it a certain way. How do you approach getting it how you want?
I feel like kind of what I was just saying is like you gotta leave a lot of the magic to the paper, or like what's not even on the paper yet. It's all in your head, and you gotta like you gotta trust in your brain muscle more than like your hands and like because if you're just like relying on what's in front of you, then you're already kind of like you're giving up halfway in that sense. Or like you gotta be able to pull from like what's not even there yet, or like there's definitely times where you mess up and those nuances become the perfect connection to something else on the piece or in the project. So
Yeah.
I don't completely rule out like markups or mess ups, because they can definitely bring its own like sense of beauty and like character to the page or to the canvas or whatever you're working on.
So like when you're thinking about pieces,
Right.
And you're getting ideas,
Right.
like do you see the ideas visually, like in your imagination, before like you get down to paper?
Well, right now I'm just in this flow state in this sense, and I don't really know what's going. I'm conduit mode, and then there's modes where it's like I'm conduit mode, but I'm still reaching towards something that like I've seen before, or it's like it's definitely been done before, but I'm doing my own like current iteration in this time and place of it. Yeah, does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Like, did you hear like the Robert Rodriguez podcast and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Did you hear about how he was talking about like just being like a pipe?
Yeah, you definitely just you don't wanna like force it too hard.
Yeah.
And you gotta know your limits, and you gotta know, like, that definitely spoke a lot to me. And it's interesting because you'd think like from all of his movies he's like a coked out,
Absolutely.
like fucking.
I still think
like,
he does coke. Like,
I still think he's not as straight edge as he seemed to come off
for
as.
sure.
But that might just be family things, like he's just like, I'm not on
yeah, I
drugs,
mean,
kids.
he makes kids movies. Like,
Yeah. You don't want to be known as the dude who was on drugs doing Spy Kids for
Yeah.
sure. I'd look bad. But
maybe he is. There's a possibility he's just like that, but I definitely think part of it is packaging.
yeah, I think he's just great at what he does.
Yeah.
And truth to that dude, like he's definitely, there's definitely dudes that don't need anything. They're just high on life, and
Yeah.
success is their high, whether it's like not even like fame, but just success. Like they have to constantly keep working because they're successful at what they do. So they don't have a need to do drugs or like feel that like emptiness. They don't need to like drink or smoke or take in anything.
Do you like do a lot of your work like straight edge?
Sometimes. I guess like as straight edge as like I am right now. I've definitely done psychedelics and drawn. That's always fun.
I've never drawn and done psychedelics. I've just done psychedelics.
It's fun to draw on psychedelics.
I don't know if I have enough chill. Like most of the time, it's either like I can't move or I need to get active. Like
You get to trick your brain for sure. That's
what
definitely
about
like
tricking your body? Like
yeah. Well, your brain is in control of your body, but
I feel like they're connected.
they're definitely connected. Yeah, like how there's like that ghost hand syndrome shit where it's like your brain and like thinks your body. I mean, yeah, that's interesting stuff. But yeah, man, I find just not thinking so hard about what you're working on sometimes helps. It's definitely good to think hard about what you're working on too. But it's always just trying to do like different iterations, like one where you have all the lighting figured out, one where you're doing a different iteration of like the textures or just overall like cleanliness of the piece. Like you want to be a little messier, or you want to go more like cubist or like abstract, or you want to like define it by a certain category, you know, you reach for that. But I find yeah, just like not stressing it so much. I just make these like very clear pieces sometimes, and then sometimes I do add too many lines and people still love it, or I hate it, they love it. I think yeah, it's always to each their own kind of thing too. Some people just want like a straight like red dash across like a white canvas, and they're like, that's fire.
Yeah.
That's sick.
You killed it.
Yeah, you killed it. It's funny how that works out.
Yeah, last time Annabelle and I were talking about stuff, and we're talking about like being a channel.
Yeah, you definitely just want to let it flow through you.
Well, it's like, I also think there's like the option to choose. Like, I, believe in like the idea of like the human radio in terms of like tuning into like different frequencies of thought.
Yeah, that's why I feel like my art, it corresponds with a lot of other artists that have lived and died, or that might spring up any day now, because we're all just tapped into this same channel. Like, and like, it could be just some deity that like, there's these like multiple deities that we're all a part of, or I'm just making up like a generalization. I'm not saying that's factual, but like maybe there's these like core human entities that existed at one point, and like we're all just channeling those perspectives and ideas constantly, and like we're just like descendants of like these giants or whatever the fuck,
Possibly. I think this is like a point where the conversation could go in a lot of different directions, because I'm down to like
you want to go there. But I don't know enough on the subject to like really, I mean, we can go that way too.
Well, I also think it depends on what you personally believe.
Yeah, personal beliefs. For sure. I'm a very like, what is it, agnostic, or like you do believe but you don't really believe, or like you're not really sure, kind of in the middle.
I feel you.
Like I definitely know there's like great evil, so there has to be some sort of like great good, like there's still like really dope things happening, but there's a lot of terrible things happening. So I know that there's some sort of core tether energy, and like one of my cosmic like understandings is just how or like from the day we're born in this society, in this world, we're given a task that contrives us or deprives us from what we're meant to be doing, or like how we're meant to be living. But it's also like built so much comfort around like the way we live at the same time. So it's like give and take, the pro and con. So we're constantly in this ritual of money and giving our time for money, and that money buys us food or anything that like distracts us from like the reality of what the world is. And then we just constantly perpetuate these different things to just keep it flowing, but it ultimately feels like it's failing right now, but we're just still living. I mean, to some degree. I mean, I'm sure everybody felt like that at one point. So I can't necessarily be like, woe is me, or like, woe is us. But
I feel like a lot of people have different relationships with money and have different ideas about what money is.
For sure. I think it's all like, in its own sense, a sham, but I appreciate what it can do, you know?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just sad that like that's one of the option, or like one of the main, if not only option for a lot of things, you know. But it does tie the world together. I'm just saying, like, in this grand sense of like existence, and like definitely need to form a currency, but at the same time, like it's just gone. It's way beyond. Things have gone way beyond.
Well, I think, like, for me, how I see it is like, you know, there's probably, most likely there's a multiverse.
Uh-huh.
And like, there's probably infinite versions of reality.
Uh-huh.
And like different iterations in which like culture and society are like working or not working. And like this shared reality that we live in, you know, I feel like one of the things that we learn about is money.
Mm-hmm.
And really it's just like an energy.
Right.
And learning how to build a relationship with that energy.
Right.
Because it's like, I don't think money is necessarily good or evil.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like in its own realm for sure. I try to, I mean, have a lot of opinions on it, but I guess at the end of the day, I can't really say shit because I still need it.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I think I'm like changing my relationship with money, and my relationship with money is getting better.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very grateful that I'm paying all of my bills.
Yeah, fire. No,
And
I'm
like,
just
I got a
saying,
place
like,
and shit.
I'm just saying in this grand sense of the world, you know, like in this, like it shouldn't determine like if you have have like a roof over your head, or if you're like full. Like there's enough like food and resources in the world.
Oh,
but
for
then
sure.
it's also just like, it's just corporations and greed and like all these things that amount, and like they just tend to like stack up on us. It's like unchecked, it's just like this unchecked growth. It's like straight up like a pus ball. Like it's definitely like its own like thing, and it can be used for great things, and like
Just to like walk the
you can like invest in like building like a farm, or like, you know, like it's on us. But it's just sad because like there's so many people with a lot of money, and they're choosing to do like even worse things with it instead of like trying to do something good, you know. They're just corrupting and contaminating in like so many other ways besides just like environmentally, you know.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of like unfortunate environmental pollution going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of environmental pollution. There's people that are like growing up in mines, and blood diamond mines, lithium mines, all these mineral mines. And I don't know. I think it's just, there's just too much for it to not be at least some sliver of like humanitarianism. But I mean, we're all just, there's just so much like bad blood and like old bad blood. I don't know what the fuck's gonna.
Yeah, I think that's one of the bigger problems. It's like old feuds continuing into new generations.
Yeah.
So it's like, in my mind, we're talking about like sources and like creative source.
Right.
And after I read this one book called, I think it's called Big Ideas. Or something like that. No, Big Magic.
Right.
It was talking about ideas in a way that I didn't really think about before, and how, like, you know, the idea that ideas outlive people, and ideas sort of, people belong to ideas more than ideas belong to people. And, you know, I think that continues, intertwines with like old feuds and like blood money and like exploitation.
Yeah.
Because we do live in like an abundant planet. You know, it's like we have all the resources to sustain ourselves, but then we also grow up in programs based on where you're from, you know, and like evolutionary Darwinism, and false competition. And it's like you sort of, if you want to think differently about the world, sometimes you got to unlearn some shit that you may have learned in other areas of your life.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, the idea will always live on longer than we will, and it's definitely not good to like hold on to, like, to bear like one ideology so like solidly your whole life,
Well, it's like,
there's definitely things that are, but I mean, go on, my bad.
how I feel about it is like, I can be like a super judgmental person, and I'm really trying to be less judgmental in my life.
Yeah.
And it's just like, let people have their ideas,
Right.
I feel like part of it though is like so many things try to bait you into like combat, like verbal combat, or like,
Yeah.
this is the right way. And
I
really,
don't think there really is any single right way to do anything. I think like it's so crazy. Like, nobody's really right or wrong in this world. There's definitely people that are genuinely wrong, but like for the most part, like 90% of the population is just living by the laws of what was given to them. I'm not saying like we're victims, but we do play out these roles that are like endowed to us, like we kind of like, if you were born in a financial situation, then you might live through it or you'll overcome it, and then you might do the same thing that was done to you because you're like, now I have this power.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
like, you just become the villain.
Yeah, yeah.
And then but I think nobody's really right or nobody's really wrong, but yeah, I don't know, it's hard, it's really hard to say. We're just here living and trying to do our best on a day-to-day basis. For real, I don't I mean, I do think about it, but I don't try to think about it too hard because I get in these like pits of like, I guess despair, but it's like, it's not without like good measure in the sense, like, because it's like I only can like block my mental for so long, and then like I might either be like too baked or not baked enough, and I'm like, god damn it, all this shit's hitting right now. Everything that I've been like, either my personal life, or I'm just like feeling the burden of like the whole world all at once, like whatever, like, and then it's just like I'm thinking of like the AI fusion of like where that's going.
AI is so fucking crazy, like,
and yeah, I mean, can only hope to some degree it's gonna like be like Animatrix, in the sense that like the AI will befriend, or at least understand there's good humans and that we're not all fucking scumbags. But
well, I think like this is like a whole conversation about like consciousness, and like,
we can get back on track to like the art.
No, I mean, it's all part of it.
Yeah.
As long as we keep relating it back to like art,
Yeah, I definitely like to tie in this like spiritual, humanistic sense, because I feel like in this digital age we are out tapped of like, I feel like a lot of new art is like meme art, and it's not really, it is cool because it is based in this new age, but it is like interesting that like we had to like paint these memes, and a lot of it sells really well, so I find that interesting. It is also just like cliche at the times, like a certain style becomes very popular, and like you're just painting like Pokemon or something, which is cool. I'm not hating, or I guess I am hating, but to a degree I'm just saying how it is. Like, it's not.
I think that's like another dilemma within like the artist's path. It's like, you want to make your art, or the thing that like allows you expression, and some people are very lucky, and right out the bat they're able to create things that people gravitate towards and they want to support financially.
Right.
But then for a lot of people, I feel like they got to figure out how to make money.
Yeah.
And it's cool that some people are able to use their creative skills to do something creative that can generate money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, it may not be as fulfilling for them, and they may or may not, you know, get past that point, you know,
Right.
where it's like their work creates like a balance where it's like it's creating financial opportunity or abundance for them, but at the same time fulfilling.
Right. I find that, yeah. I have a little anecdote to go with that. When I was going to art school, there was this, she was like 34, 35 in our painting class. She was just explaining to us that she was doing very well selling her artwork. And her art was terrible, or at least to me, you know, like, I just found it to be very like cookie cut, very simple, but that's what a lot of people want, you know, on their walls, is something like I paint things that are like in this sense like heavy, you know, like, but they're still like beautiful, but that's just life, you know. Life is heavy and beautiful, chaotic, you know. It's not for everybody, you know, but yeah, I understand why people want that like kind of like getaway painting, you know. They don't want to look at it and be like, fuck. They want to look at it and be like, oh yeah, life's chilling, you know.
Yeah.
And I respect it, but it's interesting, you know, like in those aspects. I'm sure she was trying to like find a more artistic sense of expression through school. But school just gives you so many projects, so you just end up, in a sense, losing your self-expression. Or at least in this Western, like, there's very few painters that leave art school without having their own very distinguished style. It's like everybody, to some degree, kind of has like a singular style. Like, I find a lot of artists that like went to school that have really just kind of broke away and done their own thing for a few years, really found themselves, versus the people that stay in school and then they had to like continue to like keep on just trying to make something, and then it just looks like another school project, you know. You can't really take it that serious. And it is fun to like pop around and show my work, and then people ask like where I went to school for this, and like I'm like, I didn't get it, I don't have a degree, and like, because there's definitely like the skill of not, you know, having to look at a reference, or you just pull from your brain, you know, or just pull from whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything at first. It just slowly becomes what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best, for me, that's the best thing. But yeah, just like, I find having a sketchbook, which is funny, I don't have one with me today, but having like a physical sketchbook with you just to quickly jot down or scribble some sort of blueprint. It could even be words. It doesn't even have to be anything like dimensional, but just to get a frame of reference and then compile that and maybe blend them between like there's this interview with Eminem, and he's just talking about his writing style and how he just has all these like notebooks of just like quick bars, and then he'll combine bars from other notebooks together. What up, Rudy?
Yeah.
He's a scientist.
Rudy is?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. What kind of son is this?
He works at Genentech. I don't know what, I never really asked him particularly, but I know it's like some like genetech, but it's
genetics?
Like genetic tech. He's a genetic scientist.
Genetic tech.
Genetic tech.
Genetic tech, yeah.
But yeah, man.
Well, it's like, I think it's interesting because I feel like sketchbooks are different things to different people, and like people use them different ways. Like, what is a sketchbook for you, and like how do you like to use it?
for me, a sketchbook, I try to make it like a little gallery at times, but it's hard. It's hard for me to, because like I'm saying, like I'll get into that flow state, or I'll get into that I need to like make something concrete or like figure out something concrete. So it's more just like little timepieces or like glimpses into like a piece that I might do in the future. Eventually, like I did a watercolor book where it was just like each page I try to finish it, and that came out pretty well. There's a few pages that are unfinished, but most of it's done. And then all my most recent sketchbooks are just quick ideas, little like freestyle kind of written bars, or like just like an idea, you know, like a quick sketch of an idea. Or somebody like is thinking of like drawing a graphic, I'll be like right there sketching it, and then be like, "Is this kind of what you're thinking?" And they're like, "Yeah," or "No," or whatever. You know, just it's literally just like a window into whatever I was doing at the time. And I do respect other artists that, you know, take their time and like really make it a solid sketchbook where like you look through it and there's like different things you can pull from it. Like Mikey's sketchbook, crazy. He's always like making sure the pieces are like solid, whether it's like a tattoo piece or it's just a piece in its own,
It's
or just like a study, very finished, you know. And then there's like Jewel, who's doing. You should try to interview Jewel if you can.
He's on the list.
He's can't get a hold of that dude, but I mean, I'm sure you could if you like set some time.
I can.
Fucking so yeah, like his sketchbook, it's like a straight up like, if you scan all those pages, it's essentially one of those like 1940s, 1950s like how to draw books, like right away, like how to draw hands, how to draw bodies in different dimensions, how to draw heads. Like he has all of it down without, all he needs to do is add like a few words to the side and that's done, you know?
Yeah, some captions.
Yeah, just some quick captions, and he essentially has like a few master's books, or at least one really solid master book of how to draw.
On work.
Yeah, and then Josh, of course, like his sketchbooks are just like an amalgamation of just like, I like his workflow with the sketchbooks because he has like 3 or 4 of them out, so he's like pulling reference from like a sketch, and then maybe he's doing another preliminary sketch, and then he's doing like a final version of that. But he's like stretching it across like 3 or 4 sketchbooks at once, so you're not just like, it's like if you have one of his books and then you open another one, you're like, wait, I swear I just seen this in the other book. And then you're like, oh, like I see that. So I feel like my artwork is like it resembles itself a lot. So I'm pretty much drawing the same thing over and over again until like I break into a new ground or like a new sense of comfortability with my work, and I just keep drawing that thing. Or like cats with hats, or the seal homie with the hoodie, or just like these faces, or like mountain ranges and landscapes and shit.
So do you feel like your art like is a representation of where your mind like rests on ideas, or like explores ideas?
Yeah, it's like it's definitely in a free flow state, and then there's definitely pieces where like I'm striving for some sort of like imagery for sure. Like I want to get this point across, whether it could be understood or not. But for the most part, yeah, like my sketches, my doodles are just that free flow.
Do you ever like hang up your own work and look at it?
Yeah, for sure. I don't have a lot of space in my room to do that right now. I wish I could like hang stuff. I can only like put up posters. I can't like pin anything into the wall right now.
Yeah.
Can't fuck up the walls. And that kind of fucks me up because I have a lot of paintings I want to put up, but I can't. I had to like rest them on my shelves or like on my dresser. And it's just not the same. If you could, it's just not. But luckily, you know, there's local places here that I can like hang it up. If I do like finish it, I don't have to just keep it in my room. I can, you know, people can see it. And like this morning, somebody took a picture of this Affogato, the cat right here in the gelato shop. It was just a cat, green pistachio cat, in a cup of espresso, and it's like melting. But it's cool to like see people take a picture of that. And I'm not even like going up to them and being like, yeah, I painted that. And then I leave, and then right as somebody's doing that, the piano outside of Rosewood, just like a few steps up, somebody's taking a picture of that. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Nice. So you get like a lot of external validation of like your stuff. Of, like,
in the sense,
engaging.
like it's interesting. Like I find it like it's cool, like how MF Doom would be like not putting his face to the music, you know. He was just more like let the music speak for itself.
Yeah.
I like that. Like not a lot of people, in a sense, know who I am, but they see my work a lot, and like they're like, oh, I like see this around, you know. This is something that's around here.
That's dope.
It's crazy.
So do you feel like real connected to your community, like
to some
Oceanside?
degree? I feel like the community is here. There's definitely a community here. Maybe I just don't reach out enough, or maybe like I don't come across as professional to like get these bigger jobs, but at the same time, like the city or like the people paying for these like expensive pieces are like these things that take a lot of money to make, you know. They're not willing to like put down like even like half of what it's worth, you know. But as an artist, like you gotta just pick and choose like what battle you want to fight, in that sense of like, oh, I'm gonna do this commission or like do this mural or do this piece, and a lot of it is going to come out of my pocket, whether that's materials and time or just like you could be spending that time working on like 5 other things, or like, you know what I mean, like it's just it all adds up. Or even from your own work, like you might take a day or 2 off work to work on a project that is just all coming out of your pocket, you know, and you just got to be like, this is going to be worth it, or like this is, or maybe it might not be worth it, but at least I'm getting some satisfaction out of it. And that's kind of what you want to go for, but not every time, because then that it kind of chumps you, you know, like you're just a chump in that sense. Or I don't like to think that I'm a chump, but you feel like it beats on you, you know, because then you're just kind of like giving yourself out without like knowing your own worth and knowing your own value. And there's definitely times.
Oh, go ahead.
There's definitely times to like just know when to call it or when not to call it, you know. So that's all I'm saying.
Has there ever been like a time where you like walked away from a project?
For sure. So I was it was like 2 years ago actually. It was when I came back from Japan. There's this guy who came from the Bradley Knoll. Like this dude was on acid, but there was a sobriety fest. Yeah. So there's a sobriety fest, and this dude was on acid, and he came up to me with this other guy, and they were like, "Yeah, we're these big weed dudes from LA, and like your art's sick. Like you need to come up to LA and paint our office." And then I exchanged social media with them, and they kept hitting me up. And they're like, yeah, we're going to buy that painting off you, and like, we want you to come up here. And I was like, you guys could like cash at me like a few bucks, so at least like I know you're down to get the painting, like a deposit.
Absolutely.
And they were just like, no, like we got mad drugs, like nah, like just come up here, like you're losing money. Yeah. Like they would hit me up and like try to, or at least whoever was hitting me up was like on some, just like, you're losing money by not coming here. And I'm like, dude, like I'm losing my patience, like just like even reading these messages. So I just like cut it off. I just blocked them. I didn't want anything to do with it. Like the energy just was like, at first the energy was there because I was like, oh, these dudes are like kind of trippy and like they appreciate the work. But then after a while, I was like, these dudes could have definitely just sent me some money if they were really about it, and it wouldn't have been anything on me. Like, if they would have told me like, yeah, we got you, and like, here's like your train ticket, like come up, you know, then I would have been like, cool, like I'm on my way. But there was no like meet me in the middle kind of thing, so I just like had to cut it off.
Yeah, come meet me in LA and let's do a deal.
Let's do a deal. Sounds fucking sketch. Yeah, bring that painting we want to. And it's just
in
like,
LA?
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, I don't even know where this dude's studio's at too. And I don't know. It's just a lot. But I digress, you know, like there's there's so many more instances that are gonna happen regardless. Like I try to tell anybody that's trying to get into like any creative realm that no matter what, you're gonna deal with people that are gonna be on that time and that pocket of energy. Like they just wanna see what they can get, or just like in instances just like use you to like get your connections or like get your approval, or be like they have your name and they're like, yeah, we're working with this person, and then everybody's like, oh dope, like you're working with that dude. And then everybody shows up and it's like you're not even really there, like you know, and then that can throw dirt on your name too. It's just like all these different ciphers and circles of bullshit that just comes with the game territory of being a creative. It's the endeavors of just life in general, but as a creative, it's like a lot of people are great at what they do, but a lot of people are terrible at selling it, you know? I'm trying to get better at selling it, and it's just like in that Sean Gordon Murphy interview with Alex Toth, the Alex Toth In Depth. Is that her?
That's me.
So, like with that interview, like he's just talking about how for him, he's figured out this way to make money that many other artists probably will never be able to do. But it's very inspiring because he figured out his own way and his own lane without having to adhere and like stick to any trends. You know, he created his own trend, his own. He's a pretty solid illustrator, or at least like to me, he's very solid, and his work is prolific in that sense that you want to see it framed in your house or on your wall. That's ultimately the goal, is to create pieces like that where they just live on. And
that's dope. So like, I'm gonna ask some questions that I wrote down.
For sure. Shoot ahead.
So, do you see your art as like, or using your creativity as like being of service to people at all?
At times, I don't immediately try to think about it like that. I find that in a way like self-serving, or like it's like virtue signaling in that sense.
How so?
Like, I don't like to think I'm like the voice of a generation. I just like to think like I'm just an echoing channel for a lot of things that's already happened or is bound to happen. And I do find like grace and happiness in people that see my work and like get something from it, or inevitably, you know, feel sort of way from it. But yeah, that makes me happy. It's not the ultimate goal. I definitely just want to do it for myself. It's therapy. It helps me even out. So that's, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Well, it's like, how does your creativity serve you?
Well, it's like I'm giving a massage to my own brain in the
Sounds
sense.
nice.
Yeah. It's like I'm massaging my own brain, and I I've definitely attained that over the years of drawing, because there's those preliminary years where you're just kind of chipping away at it, and you don't really know where you're going, and you don't really feel like you're getting anywhere, and you don't really think like your stuff is any good. But I feel like I'm at a point where like I know what I got to some degree. I understand there's artists that have very similar work, but I think it's all just because we're channeling from the same station, you know? Like we're all tuned into Jazz 88.3 and we're all just vibing, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know, like I'm not the one to be like, I started this, or like, you do this.
Yeah.
Like shouts out to like Doze Green and Chris Markovich and Dual One and who else? There's a bunch, there's so many. Rene Almanza. You know, there's a lot of styles that coincide, and we all ultimately, all our roots like tie back to artists and like art we all like, we're proud and like we all grew up around. So to some degree, you know, I come from a family where a lot of the art and media I took was like from generations before like my own, because of my aunts and uncles. They had VHSs and like NES entertainment, you know, like I played old ass video games, so like whatever was new at the time. So just had this range of like understanding and like being like, this is sick. And to some degree it like matured me in a way, because it wasn't like new to me, or like when people would bring certain things up and be like, oh yeah, I know about that because I've seen it in this movie, or so yeah, I don't even know how I got to that, but yeah, I feel like
well, we were talking about how like creativity serves you,
and
then you're talking about how it massages your brain, but then also influence, and you know, also it seems like ego, you know?
It definitely, like I gotta put a fire under my own ass to get myself moving, you know, like that's why I give myself so many projects, is because like if I'm not doing anything, then I feel like I sit in still water and the bacteria just grows, and I step back in the pool and I'll die, you know. But if I keep the water moving, then it's not gonna be still when I get back into it.
Do you feel like you're more creative like in solitude or like in community?
It depends on my mood. I feel like being around, even like, it's weird. Creativity can hit at any point in time. You could be in your car and you're like, fuck, I need my notepad. Or like you can be like at a wedding, or I don't know, like you could be like in the most like obscure spot and you're like, fuck, I need to draw right now, but I can't, because it's just like social cues do not add up. But I mean, to each their own. Like I used to carry a tiny ass book and like a little pen at all times, but nowadays it's like I'd rather just like wait till I get to the piece at hand and then get it out. But I have this vision that I'm working on, and I want to do a series of it where it's essentially like, I think I explained this to you, but it's, so it'd be like a frame, and this is like the painting itself, and it's in a room, and there'd be like other paintings right here, and then the main painting would be like this whole section, and there'd be like figures in the foreground, so you feel the space and like how big it is, like you're looking in a gallery. It's like that painting where you're looking at the diner or whatever, and you like, you're outside the diner, but you feel the vibe and the warmth of being inside, so you kind of like, it just like resonates with you in that sense. But I want to give people this impression that the painting means way more in that moment in space than they realize it themselves. Be like, oh, this is something that could be like this fucking huge in a big ass museum, and it would make sense, versus just painting it and filling the whole painting with that. which also can be fulfilling. Like Dali, a lot of his works were really small, but we see them and you think they're massive, but they're actually like smaller than his cane.
Tiny. I saw one in New York one time. It was really cool, but I was surprised at how small it was, like you said.
They're insanely small.
Yeah.
So like the brushes he's using, insane. His hand was crazy. And he was insane too, on top of it.
You know, it's like, I really like surrealism. You know, Dorothy Tanner.
He was a pioneer though.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
There's just pioneers that like...
Tanning.
Yeah, that it's like if you try to pick up Tesla's work and like continue off what Nikola Tesla was doing, you know, like
you got to be in a
league, like like par to him, you know, like I feel like that's why like I don't necessarily like completely say I'm surrealistic, because I don't think I'm like surreal expressionism, like I can't like do surrealism that crazy, or at least not yet. Maybe I could if I really grinded away at it, chipped away at it, but that's not even the goal either. I just kind of want to do what I like to do. And
well, do you feel like surrealism has been reintegrated into folk art?
I think, yeah, I feel like the newer art forms are just all a blend of everything to some degree. Like when I was in Japan, the art there was like cubist and expressive and surreal and modern, and it's like conservative but like still like nationalist, and like I don't know, there's just so many like motifs. Like you feel like you're like looking through a childhood lens of somebody's like trauma.
Oh, really?
And then like, or at least through some paintings, you know. And then there's somebody expressing like the industrial, like rusted machine of like the world, and they like did some like 3D piece of it. I don't know, like over there, when I was there for a month, I stayed in Ueno for like 2 weeks in total. But the museum there is amazing because they just have the student gallery, or like the student section of the museum for free, so you can just like check out the newest pieces of like the newest generation there. So
that's dope.
It's super dope. And some of those pieces are like, they took them like 5 or 6 years, like their whole career, like not their career, but their whole like time studying at that school.
When you're like 22,
right,
and you've taken 5 years to make a piece, that's a good chunk of your life.
Oh yeah, but like those pieces are like so grandiose that like they could speak for like all of humanity, and that's like that could be like the only painting that like is the proof of humanity, and it would just be perfect in that sense. Like, or at least I'd be like, there was one in there. Like, it's insane. Like, I gotta find the picture I took of it, and I'll send it to you later.
Oh, sweet.
But it just has like all these little fetuses, and they turn into like fish eggs, and it's like so Japanese, it's so like universal in the sense of like the human scope. It's sick. They just go ape shit, bro, but it's so like needed in the sense of like, we need to really push the bounds of what it is. Like, I do appreciate the stoic and the simple and like the bridges between, but it's insane. Like, they're definitely pulling from a pocket it's like beyond understanding, and I love that. Like, there's a lot of folk singers, like Latin American folk singers that I listen to.
Oh, cool.
And whenever I get into like a really like spiritual painting state, I like to listen to that.
That sounds lit.
Because then it's like I'm channeling them, and a lot of them are dead. So I'm just channeling like these dead voices, but like their soul, and that's like all they would sing about is like the soul of the people, and like there's just so many songs that are like tied to like the human trait and like the human experience, but also just like it's just inevitable, and it recycles, and a challenge from the past will be a challenge in the future. And there's one of the writers, he's like, I like to write of the impossible things because of the possible things we know too much of.
That's cool.
I like that. And then there's a singer who says that to be a singer for like your country isn't just to be like a beautiful singer and you have like, you know, like, and you look pretty on stage. Like you gotta sing for everybody, and like not even just your country at times. You gotta sing for like the connections and like and those influences that led you to that point, you know. Like it's like how I envision fighters on, like I was on acid coming down, and I was watching UFC with my brother, and there was this bloody ass fight. I forget who it was, but it just felt like they were literally fighting for their like ancestors, because they just didn't stop. Like their weight classes wasn't like middleweight, it was above middleweight, but these dudes were going at it and they were like both bleeding all crazy, and it just felt like this. And to some degree I feel like the music is like that too, because you're just, there's a saying that singer, one of the singers says, she said that or it's a poet that she's quoting, but you can't like erase a song because the blood turns into
Oh, you good?
the blood turns into the wind that carries the sound. Like even if you kill the writer of the song, like the blood will turn into wind that carries the song of the writer.
Yeah, the
and
idea.
it only echoes even more because like that person's dead now. Like Facundo Cabral, Mercedes Sosa, Atahualpa Yupanqui. Those three held it down, and like all their connections. And you go, it's like a YouTube pigeonhole, but for me it's like finding their connections in like Violeta Parra, and like Mercedes Sosa just was able to like do her own versions. There's this, she's in I think Switzerland because it's Suiza, but that's my favorite recording that I'll just rewatch it because there's like an interview and then it goes to the tracks. But that's like my favorite, probably one of my favorite recordings ever, just because it's so encapsulated, and she just has these like moments between the songs where she like helps you understand like why she's singing it or why she just sang it. And I find that beautiful because not a lot of, I mean a lot of artists do that still, but she's really just like singing for everybody. Like
That's cool.
yeah, and she's singing for the whole Latin America, not just for her country. Because like at one point, the songs that she was singing by whichever continent or I mean country it was, like they were outlawed. Like you couldn't just sing those songs. You'd get barred or like imprisoned or thrown into like a concentration camp of
People
sorts.
died off that
People
shit.
died. A lot of like Facundo Cabral, he was assassinated.
Yeah.
And he was like 73, I believe. But yeah, a lot of them didn't make it. Like there's just crazy times, man. And for artists of that time, like there was just so much to be said, and like because they couldn't say it, it only pushed them more to say it. I feel like that's also another thing, is like like if you didn't have the challenge or like the adversity, then it wouldn't push you to put it out there the same way you did, you know?
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's different for different people.
Like imagine we lived in the most peaceful world and like perfect world ever, and like Rage Against the Machine like dropped its album and be like, what are these dudes talking about? Like we live in like a utopia, like nobody is like
problem.
Nobody, what is it? Yeah, exactly.
But I'm sure they occurred like that to some people when they dropped.
Right.
You know?
No, for sure. But you know what I mean? Like it'd be funny to like. But I feel like it's interesting because like there's people that do get my work and people that don't. But it's like just look around, you know. And it would make more sense if you really just pay attention.
Yeah. Well, do you feel like a lot of your stuff comes from a certain part of your body? Does it like come from like a cerebral place? Does it come from like a heart-centered place at all?
It's a mix of both, because I can't really, like, I control it to some degree, but it's a fluctuation between both. Like, I'll definitely want to like just free flow my brain and then tie my heart into it, and whether that's drawing figures, like wounded figures, or like they seem wounded and there's always like one figure trying to help them out, and they're kind of just both connected, and then there's just like a face in front of it, and that's just like the pale face, and it's just like we all endure life in silence, and we try to like live without disturbing anybody, but we always have this like inner battles, you know, but we're all connected, and like that's definitely what I'm trying to give a glimpse of is how we're interconnected, and and we do have these singular experiences, but we all feed into each other. But nowadays I feel more alienated in the sense of the popular notion of where society is going and like the focuses of society. There'll always be the niche and like, but it's just interesting to see like the quota of the status quo, or the status quo.
Yeah,
of, like,
well, I feel like there's a,
what's
you know,
popular.
being an American in American society, like on the West Coast,
Right.
I feel like there's a lot of programs by who knows what organizations or
Right.
institutions
Are tied into that too.
that are
I'm not a-
designed to like split people apart, and
Yeah.
there's going to be like some obvious groups going in certain directions, but I think it's also like a good time to really just like develop what you want to see for yourself,
Right.
and then, you know, really stick to that shit, and see what kind of people show up as you like really stand by like
What
a belief system that's healthy and abundant for you,
Right.
you know?
I was just telling the girl at the coffee shop that I want to start weed pasting again, because for me, like, I want to do like fun stuff, you know, just so people can like kind of get some comic relief, but then I also want to enforce like some sort of like realness, and just kind of like essentially what I was doing early, like the last time, just like giving it a mix of like this like serious and unserious, because like life is just like, it's just like we're one out of a million, you know, so it's just like crazy odds that we're here, so it's just silly to like be serious at all times, you know.
Well, for sure, you know.
So I definitely want to just, like, I can't be obey is obey, and I don't
talking
want
about
to be
Shepard Fairey?
either. And like, for the most part, street artists they define themselves by like, just sticking to their guns and you know, just holding their own, you know. So I want to do more street art again before this year ends, because that's like a great outlet for me, and that helped me fueled my ego to like push me to do more, and it kept me healthy, because I would ride my bike a lot.
Oh, nice.
That gave me a lot more energy, and I wouldn't be so like mopey and like mosey in the morning. Like, I would just like get up right away, hop in the shower, ride my bike, come back home, hop in the shower, go to work. Like, it was like a whole regiment, and it's interesting, you know, how like just taking one thing out of the equation can mess up your whole flow.
For sure. Have you ever had like a period where it's like there's something regularly messing up your flow and you had to come up with solutions to like work around that?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I feel like for me, the only thing that really pushes me away from being creative is, in a sense, being in a relationship.
Really?
I find, but it also depends on my
Why
partner.
is that?
Because it mainly depends on compromise. You saw it?
No, we're
It
good.
depends on compromise, and like for me, it's hard to find somebody that's able to meet with like just meeting me maybe like once or twice a week. Usually they want to be together longer. I mean, I haven't dated another artist in a while, but the last one I did date, it was, we were together all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was like super serious. We were like together for years.
Oh, cool.
2.5, almost 3 years. But yeah, I find like,
Do you have? And again, you're welcome to not answer any
yeah,
questions.
go ahead.
Do you feel like limiting beliefs like hold you back from finding like a proper partner that would like work with your creativity so that you're not really sacrificing or compromising on your relationship or your creativity?
I feel like, wait, restate that again? I'm sorry.
Do you feel like limiting beliefs like hold you back from finding like a partner that would allow you to not compromise in?
Like, yeah, no, I definitely do feel like I limit myself. Like, I put a handicap on myself because I think if you're gonna if you're gonna be an artist, like, you really gotta like give your all to it, and like really, there's gonna be moments where you have to sacrifice, like being with somebody or going on a date with somebody, because you gotta like get in touch with a gallery, or you gotta go to an art show to meet people. I mean, you can make that the date, but it just takes you out of the headspace of like, oh, I'm on a date, versus, oh, maybe I'm just setting up walls again in that sense. But I find it's hard to, for me at least, to balance being in like a relationship like that, because yeah, I guess I do just put up that wall, but inevitably, like, I usually find myself to be right in a sense that, but I have been with people where we meet that compromise and it's super like mellow. It's not like we're in that open, it's not open, but it's definitely just like, I'll see you like next weekend or something, you know, or like maybe Monday, or let you know. It's not like constantly texting. Like, that's when I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, that's why I like talking on the phone over texting a lot of the time.
Yeah, it breaks up my flow, and like I might end up texting somebody for like an hour or 2 hours versus just painting. And I could do it in between, but then I'm like losing that flow state.
Yeah.
So like, I do understand like being in calls or sending voice messages is cool too.
I like
They
that.
kind of like respond periodically, and you still hear them, but it's like voice notes. I like that. There's definitely, like, I'm not saying that they don't exist, or people like that I envision like a longevic future with don't exist, but for the most part, it's just hard nowadays because of the way the world is, or at least around here, around these parts.
Around these parts?
Yeah, in like Southern California. Because you go to like, maybe like somewhere in like Midwest, shit's different, or like,
Oh, for sure.
you
Culturally.
go like south, or you go up north, like way up north, like culturally, you know, people go to Oregon or even like Alaska or some shit, you know, and you meet somebody over there.
Culture way different out there.
Cultural way different, you know, like people are really like neighborly, or like really, people are just really people, like, like they're not gonna just like undermine you, like waving at them, or like being like, yo, what's up? Like, I've been around places out here where I'm just like, yo, what's up? And people just like clearly look at me and they're like, nah, not today. And I'm just like, bro, like, I'm not ever saying nothing to you again.
Yeah.
And then like, but then like I'm in, like I'll be in Tijuana and I'll be like, buenos dias, buenas tardes, like buenas noches, and people are usually, for the most part, like 99% of the time are gonna like respond back. And whether it's just like just real quick, you know, at least they know like you're human and like you're there. Like when I was living out there for college, like I'd always just like be walking to the bus stop or walking back
TJ?
home. No, in Mexico. So I was living in the border of Teoloyuca, or my uncle called it Teolo York, but it's this spot called Puente Grande, and it was like literally like a few blocks away from it's a convi, which is like a little mini bus that they convert into like, you know, like a bus. But anyways, so out there, you know, people are just like really familiar, or at least like, you know, like they're not gonna just like be like, yeah, whatever, like, you know, they'll be like, oh, how's your day going? And like be like, oh, all right, like have a good day at school, like, oh, that's cool, you're studying that, or like, oh, that's like, you know, they'll tell you about their day and you tell them about your day, and then you feel like, wow, at least like I had a little human experience real quick.
Yeah.
Because it's just so crazy out there, or at least like when I was out there, like you see like dogs getting hit by semis, and like you see like a lot of dead dogs, you see like bodies sometimes on the way to school. Not like all crazy. I didn't see it crazy. There was a few times where like I seen like just like the foot sticking out under the tarp, but just stuff like that, you know. You see like a whole family run across a freeway because like there's like not a bridge for like 2 miles, so like gonna cross in the middle. It's crazy. You're gonna give Jeff a heart attack out here. The local groomsman Jeffrey making him run laps. Fucking getting all that sugar out of him. He's gonna shit himself. But anyway.
Yeah, I definitely think like environment plays a big factor in like how people interact and like what you come across.
Yeah, I think if I go to like maybe like some foreign country, I mean a lot of the problem is within me too, but at the same time I know like there's places in the world where like there isn't so much influence from all these different facets and like feed ideologies, and where you're trying to like live this like perfect wondrous lifestyle, and it's like I'm not a crypto trader, bro, and I'm not I'm not minted or flossing like that.
I mean, you could be one day,
maybe eventually, but at this point it's like I've been considering moving to Tijuana and living there because it's cheaper, and I know a lot of people that do it, and it would be dangerous, but at least I'd be living on my own, and I'd be kind of the master of my own destiny at that point. You know, I wouldn't have to answer to anybody except for myself. And I really appreciate the artist community out there. Like, I went out there years ago to play a beat show at this spot called Net. And through that, just met a bunch of artists and beat makers and producers and graphic, you know, artists, graph writers, just people that do all kinds of shit that just live down there. So it's just like, I really appreciate, and I really appreciate the culture and the scene, because they grow up and live in such like a hostile environment, but they make these like really dope things, you know, like these really inventive things. Or like they make magic out of dirt, out of mud, you know.
Yeah.
And that's sick, you know.
Well, I think, you know, do you consider yourself a gearhead?
A gearhead?
Yeah.
Like a
Not
like,
drugs. Like,
yeah, like I like machines and like gear, like in that sense.
Well,
or like,
you know, since you make beats and stuff like that, I feel like it's easy to get into, from my perspective and talking to other beat makers, like it's easy to get like very caught up in looking at what kind of gear is coming down the pipeline or what kind of gear you want to acquire into your inventory in order to create. Do you feel like you're naturally like attuned to like wanting to acquire more gear, or is it more so like trying to maximize your abilities with the gear that you got?
I feel like at one point I was trying to get a lot of gear to compensate for what I couldn't do at the time, and now that I have the perfect piece of gear now. Like I don't need anything else. I don't need the only thing I really would want is like a good synthesizer, but even then I don't necessarily need it because I could just sample off my phone. I actually have a chord gap on my Switch, so I could just emulate chord sounds directly from my Nintendo Switch. I don't need to buy a chord machine at all. And the app's on your phone too. Like there's just so many like you can just use your phone now. Like I was using Koala, and Koala pairs with my machine, so you can literally control one from the other, or vice versa. So
That's tight.
it's just the options are limitless now. We've reached at least like that musical singularity. Just chilling.
Hey, what's up,
chilling.
dude?
Just doing a
How you
recording.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah.
You good, though?
You're chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got this Tascam with these little clip mics.
Yeah, the lavaliers.
I was gonna say if you wanted to get interviewed too, because he's like interviewing like artists and
Yeah.
Oh jeez, I
cats.
would have zero input. The worst takes ever. You would not want to hear what I have to say.
Oh,
Maybe
No,
some
man.
Myers dice might be fun.
I was yeah. I was telling him to interview Danny, and yeah, I like Danny. But yeah, how was work?
It was alright.
That's
Want me to leave y'all alone?
No, you're
You
chilling.
can chill
you're
with
chilling.
us.
Yeah, you're chilling.
We're just gonna keep talking.
Yeah.
As long as we keep the talking going, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
matters.
go
What,
ahead.
what were we on?
You were talking about using like your chord,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
switch.
Yeah. So I feel like the gear singularity is there. I don't need
Gear singularity. I
Yeah.
felt like that.
You don't need. Yeah, we're about to reach reality, like the singularity with AI and reality. Like I think in the next 4 to 5 years, we'll be able to like graph somebody's brain from exterior sources.
I think they're already doing that.
They already have that.
Have you seen that Valve is making like a computer chip to game?
I seen that's NAR. I seen there's this hair follicle. It's not
Some
even
like
an
DARPA
implant.
shit.
It's literally you just like put it on your head, like it's like a little flake looking thing, and it has like a little antenna, and it can send and receive messages directly to your brain like that. So
I
you
like
could just
the
like
idea.
barely like plant it on somebody.
Yeah.
And then you just don't even know you have it. Like you might wash your head someday and you're like, oh, like my headache's gone.
Oh, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, like a little bird just drops it on you and you just like wake up. But
Fucking robot bird.
I think that singularity where like the AI will like know exactly like this whole conversation, it would have it pre-written out before we even had it.
So like predeterminism.
Like like the rehearsal type shit. Like,
What's the point of?
it'd be like essentially like AI God. Like it would know.
Yeah, I don't
like,
believe that
I
for
think-
myself.
I think if we were to like
I definitely think a lot of people are going to be
with, like-
worshiping AI. But
with like no, for sure. There's definitely going to be people that will at one point just straight worship it, like create a whole religion around AI.
oh, for sure.
We're already there, I think. I think
Yeah,
that's
I heard
already
it's happening
and we
in
don't-
Japan.
That makes total sense.
But I think it's different because it's like I think AI will create like a new sort of religion, and where it's being used currently is to be like a conduit for pre-existing religions.
I think, yeah, we'll definitely be able to. We're gonna see it within our lifetime. I don't doubt that. There's gonna be different versions. There's gonna be like the scary one. There's gonna be the chill one. And the scary one and the chill one are gonna fight. It's gonna be like Jedi versus the Sith, the rebels versus the Empire.
I think it's gonna have like a lot more gradations versus red versus blue.
Oh, for sure. It's not gonna. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be like what it is now. I mean, there's just like all these different fucking factions of one thing.
AI Cold War.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna be making codes and shit that you had to have the Neuralink to understand and shit, and even to be on par with it. Like, that's a scary thing to think about. Like, my brother's totally against it. He's like, that's the mark of the devil. Like, and I was just like, that makes sense too. But give it like 10 different generations down, and like, there's definitely gonna be people losing their minds and like frying their brains out.
Well, you should. I'll send you like the Valve video.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about this chip, and then they're talking about they'll be able to track things that have not been tracked before. So there'll be all kinds of metrics that were previously unapproachable. But then they're also talking about behavior modification.
Crazy.
So it's like they would be able to
like essentially give you like a state of hypnosis, or like you could like trick yourself into not eating hella chocolate, or like you
I think there'll be altered states because it could possibly manipulate brain chemicals, because they'll be tracking like cortisol and like serotonin and dopamine and stuff like that. But also like what they're talking about is the possibility of like real behavior modification. And that could go in all kinds of different directions.
Yeah, it could be really bad or really good. It could be like you overcome your stutter, or like you overcome like your muscle spasms and shit, or you're able to regulate your body. You can only hope that it's going to be used for the good shit, but all of this shit's usually used for money and war. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, there's that movie, the Ghibli movie, where it's The Wind Carries, and it's about this dude who's a pilot, or he develops planes, but they end up using his planes to drop bombs and shit. But he's just trying to make a dope ass plane. And his whole project just gets turned into like war. But that's like, and then also like it's Miyazaki's like he's representing himself in the sense of like he brings these things to life, and then people will shit them out in their own way, which is like kind of inevitable regardless. But
you never know like how your creations are going to exist out in the world once you put them out there.
Right. I think that's why he went all crazy in the last one, or at least people think it's crazy, but I find it perfect.
I don't think it was crazy. Like, I think it was personally I liked the movie a lot, but it didn't seem like far out there compared to his other stuff to me. Like, it seemed very much in the tone.
It felt grounded in its own tone for sure. Do you have any other?
I've got a shit ton of questions,
go
but
on.
let's just like do like a few more and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
So it's like, here's one that was written and submitted while we were doing this.
Okay.
It's like, what is / when have you ever experienced abundance?
Abundance.
Yeah.
Abundance. I used to do like these like odd jobs for the homie, and he would just give me like an ounce or like more of weed and shrooms and acid. So I guess that's like definitely an abundance. I never really had an abundance of money though. I can really like pinpoint. I guess like being in Japan, I felt like I had an abundance because that was cool. You know, like that's definitely a place where you want to feel like you got an abundance on you, because you just kind of like do whatever and like just like let the world take you where you feel like going. And on drugs though, it's just like, where can I go where I can do all this shit? But like money in Japan, it's like, where can I go like here with my money and like see some sick shit? But just having hella weed, I'm like, where can I smoke all this? That's funny. Or like I was trying to sell some at the time, but I was just hooking up people like 3 times more, or like 2 times more. It's always fun though, you know, just giving back.
Nice.
But I'd say, abundance is good. but it can also be bad. I mean, depending on your discipline and how you take it in.
And like abundance of what, you know?
Yeah, abundance of. Yeah, I mean, it could be like, it could easily turn into gluttony. You know, you easily just like intake all of it and just burn it out, and you're just like, oh shit, I have nothing now.
Yeah.
You could just like party it all out, or just roll it all on red or on green or whatever the fuck, you know.
Overdose.
Yeah, just straight just overstimulation. Nowadays, we definitely live in that age. Like, I see these videos where dude's in line, or he's like in a drive-through, and he has a VR headset and he's gambling, and he's just like, I'm about it. I can change your life right now. How much money you need? Like $10,000? He's like, all right, I'm gonna bet 1,000 on red. And he's like, I just lost $1,000. Or he wins like 500 or 600, and then he gives the guy like around him like $1. But that's so like now, I don't know. We're gonna have like people just like, I don't see it right now, but
well, it's like, I already think, you know, even though there's shared reality, like everybody's living their own world.
Yeah.
But I think with technology, people are going to be off in like worlds or dimensions that we are not tangible to like us. You know, people are just going to be off in their own zone. And it's like, it'll be hard to relate unless you're on that wave.
Right. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, even like that Baltimore slang shit, like Jekyll Yang dictionary, like they're so in that shit that like you straight up need the dictionary to understand like what the fuck these souls are talking about. But no, I mean, there's so many niches, so many lanes, there's like 30 genres within one genre type shit.
Yeah.
And they all kind of blend between one to another, like heavy metal to like distortion, like industrial and hip hop and techno and
I definitely think we're like in a space where genre blending is like happening more.
cumbia.
Yeah.
Like Bad Bunny or fucking, I don't know, whatever the fuck's like really popping. But
so I got 2 more questions and then we're gonna call it.
yeah, whatever we can.
So like when it comes to being creative, like how do you make creative space for yourself, and what would be like your ideal work environment or like creative work environment? Like, where are you at right now in terms of making creative space for yourself, and then what is like an ideal situation?
I find myself more creative at like a coffee shop or a bar than at my own house sometimes. Mainly just depends on the space, but my ideal space would be like just a plain empty ass studio where I could like pin anything to the wall and just kind of have different references, like one wall of references or like things that inspire me, like a shelf of like just like action figures and like random collectibles that I've attained over time, and then just like different sets of like a illustration table with like, you know, like light board and watercolors and ink and shit, or just like and then like an oil painting set right next to like a fat wall where I can paint whatever the fuck, you know, do whatever the hell I want to do, or like, you know, build an installation, build whatever I want in that space, and just have like a decent sized studio. Doesn't have to be massive, but just a good enough space that's breathable, and I can switch it up, do a little show in there, like a viewing of some sort. But that'd be ideal. But yeah, for right now, just like having a good like portable setup. Like when I was in Japan, just having watercolors and shit, super ideal, because I can do colors, I could do just like basic illustration like that, not to be hindered.
So what's like the bare minimum in terms of gear that's like serves your purposes?
Fuck.
What's like the minimal loadout?
Minimal loadout? Ideally, minimal loadout would be a tablet, but if I were to go less than that, just like a pencil and like a good pen, like a sturdy book that can handle a good amount of ink on the pages, and that's it. And I can transfer that or blow it up or whatever. I don't have to kind of do more than what's on the page. That's it.
So, all right, so the last one, like what kind of problems what kind of problems or blocks are you experiencing right now that you'd like to have your creativity help you solve, like either in your work or like in your own life?
Just consistency of like projects and like flow of like doing things that in succession or successively like bring more work that is attuned to like what I want to do or what brings me satisfaction in that sense, you know, like and I think creativity can bring me that, but it's also just being in the right places at the right times at times. Like, could literally be going to the bar on a random night and you run into some dude and he's just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I need you to like all faded, or you like, homie hears you fart and he's like, bro, like I need to like, yeah, I need. Like, and it could just lead from literally like, feels like nothing, but that's the beauty of it for sure. That's the sickest thing. It's just like being out. Like there is just like a magic to being out and about, and that just like inevitably leads to just inevitably leads to just like more things happening, you know? Like if you just locked yourself in your room and fucking did your shit, then nobody's gonna really see it until you die and they put your shit in the storage unit and they sell the storage unit, or maybe like somebody puts it out when you pass that like really gave a fuck. But if you're out and about, you can literally be anywhere. Like be in a coffee shop drawing and somebody really sees it and they're like, oh, I got this connection. But it's like being at the right place at the right time and just not being afraid in that sense of just like, it's also like hardship as an artist, or like a lot of artists go through, is just being comfortable showing their work and not being afraid and just being like, yeah, I did that, you know? Like I have so much respect for a lot of artists, but I know, or I don't know, but I get that vibe sometimes. And I'm just like, you should own this shit. Like, you're great. Yeah. You're amazing. Like, don't let other people's eyes or reaction like hinder you from being like the best fucking you type shit. Just rock that shit. You're fucking G. That shit's hard. But yeah, I think no matter what, like there's that saying, more money, more problems and shit. Like,
well, I mean, if you choose to believe that.
Yeah, and that's if you choose to like go for the more exorbitant and the more like lavish shit. But I feel like that's kind of the goal, is to like get a fuckload of money so you can have some nice things. But definitely don't let that own you either. Don't let that. But I want to have dope shit, man. I want to have some sick, like rare shit. Yeah. But like, it's also funny because like it'd be funny to like have these like crazy like Evangelion figurines or some shit, like some rare like one of one like cast iron like Evangelion models, but like they're just not worth shit in like 1,000 like 100 years, because like nobody's even up to par with that. They're just like, yeah, that's whatever, or just something like that, you know, just some like, it's interesting, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, cool, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
So tell people how they can find you online.
You can find me at Cold Sweater, cold.sweater.sd or SWEATER. So cold.sweater on Bandcamp and on Instagram.
At Cold Sweater?
So at Cold Sweater, cold.sweater.
Cold.sweater.
So yeah, I mean, you'll find it. It should pop up, but
Cool.
thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
It was
And if
fun.
you want to come back on, you're welcome to.
For sure, yeah. Like I said, you should definitely get Jewel and Danny. And yeah, man.
Cool.
Should definitely. There's definitely a lot of people like the homie Joel too. He's a pretty dope artist. Just some, we'll see.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
We'll see.
the web is there.
I
And,
think
like,
it's gonna work out. I think it's gonna just keep expanding.
it'll just keep going. And like don't slow down. I like this format. It's very natural, and like I like how you're able to get the sound of the city.
Yeah,
And
I was
kinda-
I was like checking out the ones I did the other day, and there's a lot of ambient noise that's interesting.
I like that.
I just want to mix it so it's like you're not like left channel and I'm right channel. So it's
Yeah,
like
you can just split make two, like make a copy of it and then turn one all the way to the left and turn one all the way to the right, if that makes sense. So like copy our audio channels and then just
Okay.
turn one to the right, turn one to the left. So
Okay.
then it's just like
Homie?
split stream.
Get up and give you
cool.
a
I'll try that.
Oh yeah.
How's it going?